Hello and welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us for yet another week of the Upskill Forum. I am one of your hosts, and I am Vince, and I am the CEO and co-founder of Agile Consulting Group, and I'm here with
Thaddeus, also known as TJ, president and co-founder of the Agile Consulting Group.
Welcome. Thank you all so much for joining us. Go ahead and start those watch parties. Go ahead and share this video with your network. Today, we have an exciting topic where we'll be talking about making authentic professional connections. We know that our net worth is tied to our network. So keeping that in mind, it is extremely important for us to establish authentic connections. But before we jump into this week's topic, TJ, how was your week?
Week's been good so far, man. Been crazy busy. Had some exciting things happen this weekend.
Nice.
That's going to be coming out, for the Agile Consulting Group.
Let's talk a little bit more about that. So this weekend, TJ and we put our brains together and we came up with a amazing webinar that we'll be releasing in just a couple of weeks.
You said it was amazing. I think it was much better than amazing. I think you're selling it short. I mean, the people that were a part of what happened this weekend, it is going to blow your mind. So come up with something else besides amazing, Vince.
It was spectacular.
No, it really was. We had some amazing professionals that are going to be sharing on some amazing topics that we've been talking to you guys about in our announcements for a webinar that we have coming up. And honestly, there was even a lot that I learned with being a part of what happened this weekend. And I'm just excited.
I think we definitely brought in some heavy hitters to help us deliver on the content. I know we add a lot of emphasis and attention around professional development, and we provided everyone with the tools and the fundamentals of accomplishing just that professional development. So we had speakers talking about resume building. We had a speaker share with us about leveraging LinkedIn to get to the next level. Had another speaker talk about the interviewing concepts, how to conduct yourself during an interview, things that we think that we know that we really don't know. And these are industry professionals.
Yep.
And then also too, we have salary negotiations.
Woo!
Oh my God. Like, that is a huge topic, is the renegotiation of salaries with your existing employer, and then also negotiating a new salary with starting up with the new employer. And then we also topped it off with talking about personal branding. What is your brand? Who are you? What do you stand for? So we had some amazing speakers.
It was
hot. I mean, even our producer of the webinar, who has been an entrepreneur for over 10 years, was like, wow, I learned so much just from being a part of this whole entire experience. Things that even for myself as an entrepreneur, I didn't know, but I really feel as though now I should know. So entrepreneurs, this is something that's for you as well.
No, absolutely. Shout out to our producer, Forward Solutions, Marlon Bush.
Yes, Forward Solutions was absolutely phenomenal. Hands down, one of the greatest experiences ever. If you are in need of a video production director, Marlon Bush is the CEO of Forward Solutions. They're located down in Dallas, Texas. Definitely worth the expense to fly them in if you're able to do so. But excellent from start to finish. So keep that in mind.
I agree.
All right. So without further ado, we want to dive into our topic, making authentic professional connections. It sounds like something that would be extremely easy, TJ, but it's something that can serve as a big challenge, for a lot of people.
No, I agree. And making connections and being authentic is so real.
Mm-hmm.
Being the real you, and just really making sure that you're leveraging those skill sets that you have, and making sure that individuals know what makes Thaddeus Thaddeus, what makes Vince Vince, and just making sure that you know how to articulate and dig deep.
And that's the thing. We always want to stay true to who we are. You don't want to try to conform into someone or something that you're not.
Yep.
Those connections won't last long. So that's why we add the emphasis on authentic professional connections.
Absolutely.
We know that there's our work self, and then there's ourselves when we're around our friends and our family.
Right.
But I believe that the two can come together, and you can create that oneness around, just who you are as a person, what you stand for, and what you represent. So we always like to try to kick off with the quote. So this week's quote, it's a little long, but definitely think that it's a powerful one nonetheless. The most basic and powerful way to connect to another person is to listen. Just listen. Perhaps the most important thing we can ever give each other is our attention. A loving silence often has far more power to heal and to connect than the most well-intentioned words. This is by Rachel Naomi Remen. Powerful statement, Rachel. Wherever you are at in the world, thank you so much for creating such a powerful quote. I couldn't agree more.
Oh, that was good.
I share all the time, TJ, that people listen with the intent to respond and not to understand. And I think that oftentimes draws a wedge in communication. We cut each other off. We don't finish listening to.
I think that's a really good point, man. No, I'm just playing.
See, he just did it right there. Perfect example. I mean, it happens all the time. And how that reads is what I have to say is more important than what you're saying. Or, TJ, I'm not picking on you. Sometimes he'll say, well, I just need to say this real quick before I forget.
I mean, there's times you got to get your point across, right?
But then you get your point across, and now I just forgot what I was saying.
That's true.
Mid-sentence. So it's important that we listen to each other, and we listen with the intent to understand and not the intent to respond. So going into this, first, we want to share with you all, establish yourself. What does that look like? What does it mean to establish yourself? Establishing yourself means to share who you are as a person. It does not necessarily have to equate to, I am the VP or the senior vice president of this, or I am the head person of that. A lot of times I can say, hey, I am a entrepreneur, and I love helping people, or I love helping people with their pets, or I love connecting, with people. You sharing things like that is valuable and that's important to you, where you're establishing yourself, you're establishing your presence, and then you're setting the tone for what your audience can expect from you.
I agree. I think just kind of going off what Vince said, it's so important to establish yourself and build rapport with the individual that you're talking to, or the individuals, because it's so easy to, and I struggle with this myself. I like to get directly to business. So I'll come in, and especially if I'm meeting with the client, versus, getting to know the individual, asking the right questions, and really, building the stage. I'm directly, so let's talk about X, Y, and Z, versus, establishing myself, building the rapport with that individual so that that trust is built and things like that.
I think that that's extremely important, and that is a good way to build trust, because when you feel as though you have background of who that person is and what they represent, who they stand for, you'll feel more comfortable sharing different things with that person. And then also, too, there's connection in your stories, where certain things may align. And that thing could be you both enjoy golf, or you both enjoy shopping, or you may have the same favorite store, or your children, may even go to the same school and you may not know, so those types of things get revealed as you start establishing yourself and sharing more.
Absolutely.
A basic concept, but something that is extremely important. Don't look beyond who you're speaking to. When you do that, it appears as though everything else is more important than that person that you're speaking with.
I agree. I feel like it happens all the time, especially when you're talking to an individual and they're like not even focused on me as the person that they're talking to, but they're talking all around me. They're talking about things that really don't even pertain or matter. So it's so important to make sure that you are having that conversation with the individual, and that when you're having that conversation, you're drawing them in, because truthfully, if you're not, and I can really speak to it and say, a lot of times out here and wah, 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 like, and they're talking and your mouth is moving and you're, smiling and engaging, but honestly, I've tuned you out. I have selective hearing, because honestly, at this point, you've kind of just went right over my head and making it clear that I don't matter.
You bring about a very valid point. I remember when I was a part-time teller, and I would greet customers as they would walk in, and the customers loved it. But I remember one time a customer gave me a reality check, and as they were walking in, it wasn't anybody else in the lobby, and for security purposes, I wanted to make sure that I recognized their presence.
Sure.
So as I was dealing with the customer and I was in the middle of, counting their money, I stopped and I said, hello, to someone that walked into the branch. And that customer tore me off a new one.
It drives me crazy, honestly. And this probably sounds bad, and I understand it. But how many of you actually go into, let's say, Walgreens, right, every day, and you walk in and you're the person that's being helped, but they're yelling over your head, "Welcome to Walgreens." You all need a greeter, because you should be focused on me, but instead you're focused on me trying to greet the person that's coming in, and God forbid the phone rings. Now you also have to answer the phone. Now I used to work for Walgreens, so I get kind of why they do things the way that they do, but from a customer service standpoint, or even just feeling valued, it kind of makes you feel like you don't matter as much, because you're trying to do 1,000 things at once and not focused on the person that's in front of you, which is the most important at the moment.
I agree. And that is something that, at the time I didn't see anything wrong with it. I felt like the customer, was just having a moment. And I sat and I thought about it, and I said, hey, how would I want to be treated? Would I want my banker speaking to everyone while they're dealing with me? Now you're prolonging my transaction. You're consumed with everything else around you. You're not paying attention. Very well so could make mistakes that could be avoided had I given my undivided attention to who I was dealing with in that moment. And then also, too, it also helps you to not have to ask the same questions again, because that could become frustrating as well.
Right, because you're actively listening.
Yeah. So, that definitely can become frustrating. And then that goes hand in hand with be present in the moment. That means that you are here. All of you is here. Your mind, your passion, that you share, it's here. It's present in this moment. Nothing else in the world matters right now but you, the person that I'm dealing with, the person that I'm connecting with, in this moment.
Being present is so important. And you oftentimes will hear individuals talk about being absent present, which means you're there, but you're not really there. How many times have you been out to eat and you're with all of your loved ones, or maybe you're at a business meeting and everybody's on their cell phone, and it's like you're there, but you're not there. So when you think about being present and making that individual feel valued, showing that you are engaged, that you are connected, because that's really the main piece that's going to help build that rapport, that's going to help develop that relationship. So when you think about being present in the moment, you have to really take a step back and make sure that you are all in, I guess, in a nutshell, for choice of words to put it there. Being all in really means that you're not focused on everything that happened. How many times have you heard when you go to work, they say, leave your problems at the door? Sometimes it's easier said than done. But when you think about it, when you're at work, that's your time to really focus on the task that you need to handle there. It's the same thing even when you're having a conversation with a peer or a colleague or whoever it is, that you are present in that moment and that they understand that, yes, I matter right now.
And think about it, even when you go on vacation or you go to a concert, many times we're quick to pull out our phones and we want to record the experience instead of actually being present in that experience that we've been afforded.
Yep.
And then in order to even remember what happened, we revert to the videos and not our memory. I say all the time, I like to be present in the moment, and I like to reminisce and vividly paint the picture, of what it was and what it was like. And then also too, I noticed that when I'm more present in a moment, in an experience, I'm more likely to remember details, fragrances, taste, different, those sensory things that I was afforded by being in that moment versus having a picture of the food and saying, oh, that sure looked good, but do I remember how it tastes?
Right.
Do I remember how it smelled? Did I remember how my waiter made me feel? Or was I so consumed in my phone and sending text messages and posting that picture, on the gram or on Facebook and seeing who liked it or who commented under it that I forgot about the little things in that moment that counted.
And being present in the moment is something that we lose track of every single day. I mean, you honestly could be watching the game and your spouse could be having a conversation with you, and all the thing you're focused on is LeBron making that three, or maybe Giannis, helping us win the game. And then your spouse is talking to you and having a conversation, and all you hear is like nothing because you've tuned that individual out. So making sure that when you have that one-on-one opportunity or that opportunity to speak, that you are definitely engaged and that you make that individual feel valued and let them know that they matter.
Absolutely. Now, I definitely think that is something that is extremely important. And a lot of people do find value, that way, TJ. So definitely very valid and valuable point.
People never forget how you made them feel.
They don't. Never. And, even in this moment, as we're, recording, I'm trying to make sure my device doesn't fall, so that just took my attention, but those types of things happen. There's always something, that's happening and something that's going on that can deter your attention, but being present.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel good. I mean, it doesn't feel good when you don't feel valued. And I always say my time is valuable. I cannot get this time back. So don't waste my time. If we're going to have a conversation or a crucial conversation, or we're going to discuss something, I want your undivided attention. Let me know that I matter. And I can talk about this all day because I can be like, have you ever been on the phone with a person? You can tell they're text messaging while you're talking to them. And you're like, are you there? And they're like, oh yeah, I'm just finishing a message. Like that grinds my gears. So when you think about even things like that, be present when you're with that individual.
I think he hit a nerve. And then also too, give off the energy you want to feel. So be mindful of how you're impacting the world and the people around you. Do you have welcoming energy, or are you someone that's standoffish? And naturally so, because we can become or some of us are introverts and not, extroverted. Many times those things can stop us from giving off the energy you want to feel. And though some things aren't intentional, you can still give off a certain energy. So if people have shared that with you, especially people that are close to you and you value their opinion, take that moment to take that into consideration and saying, hey, I've heard this before. I want to work on and I want to become more mindful of how I interact and how I engage with other people.
No, absolutely. Energy is so important. Energy can determine how an interview goes. Energy can determine how an appointment goes. If you bring in positive energy and that individual, maybe they're having a bad day, right? Or maybe even they had a made up pre-notion about you that this is how it's going to go. We're going to cut that conversation off. But sometimes when you come in with a positive attitude, you have great energy and you are engaging, you can turn that situation that was supposed to go a different way, a totally, make things for the best. I can speak for myself and think of even there's I'm going to use him because I see that he's watching. Daryl Hawkins, he always tells me, you need to smile more. You need to make people, let everybody see the good side. Don't always come off so mean. And I'm not a mean person by any means, but sometimes our energy will make an individual feel that you're that way. So it's so important, the perception that you give, and also ensure that, kind of like Vince said, the energy that you give is what you want to reciprocate back.
Because perception is truly reality. How people perceive you, how people perceive a situation becomes reality, or in modern day terms, my truth. So we want to make sure that we're mindful, of those types of things. One thing I'll say, even as it relates to TJ is an administrator, at heart. So he's always focused on what needs to be done next. So there will be times where he is so focused on the assignment that he may not be smiling, or he may not, stop and say hi, because it's like, okay, I know that this is coming up next in the next few moments, and I need to jump on top of, this and make sure that it gets completed. So those things are real and they do exist, but I think, even for that, not just because it's TJ, but I think we all have to do a better job at becoming more mindful of, okay, this isn't personal. Maybe they have something that's going on, or maybe they have, something that they're dealing with. Because for me, I don't just think that everyone is mean or everyone is nasty. I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt, because I know that, people have lives, people have feelings, people have things going on outside of me. And I don't think that I'm that powerful to make someone go all the way out of their way, to not engage, with me, or, not smile or anything like that.
You're powerful, Vince.
Hey, possibly, but, so keeping those things in mind. And focus on their story and not their stats. So that means focus on who they are as a person, things that's important about them. How did they end up where they're at? And not, okay, how many do you have? Or how many will you have by the quarter end?
Well, what's your story, Vince?
Well, I am a serial entrepreneur. It's something that I love, something that I enjoy. I never could pinpoint what I was good at as a kid. I was not athletic and still am not. I, wasn't artistic, still am not.
You can't sing.
I can't, but I still doesn't stop me from trying. But entrepreneurship for me has been, just such a huge part of my life. It's been a huge part of who I am. I love creating, I love turning nothing into something. I love being innovative. I love thinking outside the box. I love, creating infrastructures, just for businesses. I love, starting from the end result and working my way down and back to the beginning. I enjoy that process so much. I love helping others make their dreams come true. If they're aspiring entrepreneurs. So it's something that I'm really passionate about.
That makes sense.
But that's my story. But then that's more important then, well, how many people did you help do it? Because a lot of times that's exactly where our mind goes. Well, how many people did you help do it?
No, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you 100%, Vince. And I definitely understand the fact of when you understand someone's story, it definitely helps you connect. Even if you're having a conversation with someone, people love to tell you about their family. They love to tell you about their kids. They love to tell you about their journey.
Yep.
And when you can really connect and understand more about the individual that you're talking to, it's going to take you further versus like what Vince said, you're only focused on the stats, thinking of, the numbers and how many individuals were involved, or, tell me more about how you were able to reach that resolve versus really understanding the story and understanding the journey. And when you can connect the dots together and really connect with that individual, that's when you begin to really, really see the results come to pass of what you're trying to build as it relates to that relationship, and really making sure that you have a quality conversation.
No, really good insight, TJ. Quality conversation is definitely important. And then be encouraging and inspirational. Will it kill you to say something nice? Would it kill you to build someone else up? No matter who that person is, they may be a person of influence. They could be TD Jakes, they could be Michelle Obama, but guess what? Telling them that you enjoyed them, that they did a good job, keep on speaking up, using your voice. Those kinds of things go a long way. People will never forget how you made them feel.
No, I agree. And I think when you always try to look for the best in a situation, look for the best even in that individual. Yes, we all have flaws, right? We all have things we can do better in. But if you can always look for what went well, you can look at what individuals really the attributes that the value that they add. It's a lot easier, and it makes an individual feel more valued. You can tell me all day, Thaddeus, you're stuttering, and honestly, I don't like listening to you. But if you were to come and say, I really enjoyed the conversation and the information that you shared, it definitely will go a lot further than being negative.
I agree 100%. So, awesome. Well, we have reached a point in our live where we are going to open the floor for a Q&A, question and answer. So as you all know, go ahead and drop those questions or comments in the chat, in the question box, and we'll go ahead and we'll answer those for you. So I am going to share a few. Sam Hogan, he said, so true. We got Marcel Jackson. Shout out to Marcel, who is one of our presenters during our webinar. He said, be present. We have Daryl Hawkins. He says, I like that, be present in the moment. Right on, Daryl Hawkins. We have Marcel once again. People remember experiences and how you made them feel. So true, so true. Best Mac, she shared with us. She said, so true. Marcel rooted you on. He said, admin TJ. So he definitely has the gift of administration for sure. All right. So thank you all so much for engaging with us in the comment sections. We thoroughly appreciate that. So every time we get ready and go live, make sure that you're sharing those comments with us so that we can engage back with you. And if you have any topics that you'd like us to discuss, inbox our business page, Agile Consulting Group, and share those topics with us, and we'll be sure to add that. Or feel free to email us at engage@agile-consultinggroup.com. All right, so now it is time for announcements. Woo! Announcements. So, TJ?
Meet us here every Tuesday at 6:30, where we are going to talk about real life issues, talk about things that happen in the workplace, continue to have dialogue to help you get to that next level. Again, like Vince just said, if you have a topic that you want to discuss, if you have a topic of anything, maybe you're dealing with it even on your job, or maybe you just want a second opinion, we're happy to go through that topic and even share it with all of our online viewers. So definitely share that with us. And then schedule your one-on-one consultant time with Vince and myself. We are able to help you if you're looking to start a business, if you're looking to grow within your career, if you are someone that really is just not sure what next steps you need to take, definitely leverage us. We are here to help you. We have some amazing individuals that we have helped already that have done nothing but give us rave reviews and sharing how thankful they are for the time that they've been able to spend with us. But definitely go to our webpage and take the time to set up a meeting with us. We'll be more than happy to meet with you. And then join our private group on Facebook. This is the Agile group. This is a group where we like to share information exclusively with individuals in the group and allow you to even engage with us so that we can help you get to that next level. So definitely go out to the Agile group. It is a private group. Only thing that we look for you to provide us with is your email address so that we can send you some really great updates and things that's happening. And then like us on Facebook, like us on LinkedIn, and then follow us also on Instagram. Stay connected with us. We have a lot of great things that will be coming up even for the rest of the year and also into 2021. And we want to make sure that you are the first to know about it.
And as always, thank you all so much for tuning in with us. We thoroughly engaged spending this time with you guys. And we look forward to connecting with you all again next week at 6:30 p.m.
What time?
6:30 p.m.
6:30
Central Standard Time. And as we always end all of our lives with our motto. And what is it, TJ?
Live agile, work agile, succeed agile.
Thank you all so much. Until next time, our friend.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for tuning.